Hello everybody. Welcome back to our session on Python programming. We're discussing iterative constructs. Yesterday I had given you an assignment and I expect you to submit the solution for the same. I see one submission from Ashish. I expect others also to go ahead submitting the solution. Those who are not present yesterday, I'll just rephrase the assignment for you, what the assignment was all about. It was accepting details of n number of students. Every student appears for minimum 5 subjects in every semester. And we have to capture details about the student, his name, and his performance in 2 semesters. And for every semester, he appears for minimum 5 subjects. And what we want to print is later the name and the percentile marks of the student in every semester. That is what we were expected to print. Now, since how about others? Ashish has submitted. I expect others also to submit. Monica, Prithviraj, Rahul, those who were present yesterday. Harsh, क्या इशू है? हर सॉल्व किया क्या असाइनमेंट? कोशिश की है?
मतलब थोड़ा स्टार्ट किया था पर पूरा नहीं किया, मतलब से इनपुट अगर उतना ही लिया था।
पूरा नहीं किया क्या? क्यों नहीं किया पूरा?
सॉरी सर।
ऐसा नहीं चलेगा ना। हर एक बार जब कोई चैलेंजिंग क्वेश्चन आ जाए आप लोग भागने लगे तो कैसे सॉल्व करोगे? पृथ्वीराज,
No, sir, I did not do the question.
why? My question is why. I know you haven't done it. Why haven't you done it? Don't you feel there is a need to solve the assignments?
There is.
सॉरी
Rahul has also submitted. Monica,
Sir, I have not completed it, but I have idea in my mind. I will
Mind
just
में?
complete it to, sir.
you have to do something on the paper. Mind में कैसे
Yes,
चलेगा?
sir. I will submit it tonight, sir. Till
Tonight,
tonight.
nahi. We are going to discuss it. You all are waiting only for me to discuss as if it's my assignments, and I will sorry you just keep on watching कि sir को आ रहा है नहीं आ रहा है. It is your duty to solve those things, and I was supposed to help you out in doing identifying how to think correctly. अगर आप सोचने ही नहीं वाले हो तो how do I help you all? Okay, so let's look at the submissions that we have today. This approach will not help you, and don't blame me if you cannot succeed tomorrow in programming. कि अरे कोर्स किया कुछ फायदा नहीं हुआ. फायदा करना है या नहीं करना है आपके हाथ में है. If you're not going to put in efforts, nobody in the world can help you, huh? And neither can I help you if you are not going to solve the assignments.
Yes, sir.
And I have been telling you, I am not really concerned about whether solution गलत है या सही है. Important thing is you should be making an attempt to solve. Attempt ही नहीं करोगे तो क्या help करेगा कोई आपको? Here we go. This is import sys. From typing import final, he creates a variable called as max score, that is out of 100. And then there are marks and subjects. So there are 2 lists which have been taken. One list is marks, other list is subjects. There is a counter to keep a track of how many students are there. Enter the number of students. And it should not be negative. And it should be all digits is what has been checked. Counter less than 0. This will not work, dear. Did you run this particular code? Ashish?
यस सर।
ये रन किया आपने?
हाँ, उधर और रहेगा।
चलो और भी है तो भी गलत है. ये काम नहीं करेगा. बताओ, सोचो क्यों नहीं काम करेगा?
सर क्योंकि वो स्ट्रिंग है, अभी इंट
तो
करना है।
कैसे आप कंपेयर कर रहे थे? स्ट्रिंग ऑफ लेस देन 0 कैसे कह रहे हैं? ओके,
सर वो इंट ऑफ स्टूडेंट
int of student कह के नहीं चलेगा ना, तो this or that है. If not, अब ये not किसको अप्लाई करेगा, the first condition को या दोनों के और को?
First.
How do you know that? Have you checked for the priority of or and not? If or has higher priority, then this will get evaluated first. This entire thing will get evaluated first, and then it will not. If not has higher priority, then this will get evaluated first, and then or will happen. To avoid such confusions, we should always put brackets. तो अगर आपको ये not सिर्फ इसी पे अप्लाई करना था, तो उस पे ब्रैकेट डालो और कंडीशन अलग हो, और int of counter in so and so. Okay, so you are saying an improvement suggestion int. That comparison was just not possible, but does it even int, does it work or not? Let's see. So if it is not digits, it will not even check for the next condition. If it digits, it will check for the next condition. So if you are anyway going to do it over here later, so that's twice you are performing this operation. Anyway, let's check now. So this was more about validation. Then we ask the user number of subjects. If not subject in digits less than 5, okay, the minimum number of subjects chahiye, constant chahiye, you would have terminated. The name of the subjects were not asked. Now this is not what the problem really demanded. Here you are asking number of subject. I clearly told you yesterday, here you are asking number of subject. That means all the students will appear for exactly the same number of subjects.
Yes, sir.
And that is not the question. Varying number of subject मैंने कहा है. क्या लिखा है? Question पढ़ो तो एक बार आप. लिखा है आपने question?
Yes, sir.
पढ़ो.
Student appears for minimum 5 subjects for every semester, except names and marks of n students for 2 semesters.
Correct.
And this.
So
Yes.
he is appearing for minimum 5 subjects. So it could be, and every student may appear for different number of subjects. I gave you an example. One student may appear for 5 subjects, other may appear for 7 subjects, other may appear for 9 subjects. Here you have taken a scenario that all students are appearing for same number of subjects. Name of the student was expected, name of the subject was not expected. So that was something unnecessary, but this does not fulfill the requirement. This is slightly different than what I had asked. Let's see what Rahul has done. He's using NumPy. Rahul, why are you using NumPy? We don't need it. Enter number of students, digits hai kya? And int of this greater than 0, and nahi raja, or int of this greater than 0. Enter the number of subjects. वापिस वही गलती है. ये 2 मार्क्स एम्प्टी लिस्ट बना दिए. अरे तो हमेशा एम्प्टी रह जाएगा फिर. एवरी टाइम इट विल बी एम्प्टी. नहीं, you all have got the question wrong. Student data list है? No, that's not right. Okay, so I'll take this and we'll work on this. We'll have the problem statement written first. Marks in every subject are out of 100. A student appear for at least 5 subjects in each semester. Accept marks of n number of students, accept name and marks. Name and marks of n number of students in 2 semesters. Display the percentile marks of all students in both the semesters. This is what the question is all about. So now what you want to store is 3 things. The name of the student, his marks in semester 1 and marks in semester 2. So these are 3 things we would like to store. We do not know how many subjects he is appearing for every semester. We could always ask how many subjects he appeared for the first semester, how many subjects he appears for the second semester. We accept the marks. That's all okay. Or you can go on accepting marks as long as you want to ask him, has he appeared for any more marks for that semester? That's how also you could do it. So we have final variable, max score, and we also have minimum number of subjects. Minimum number of subjects, and that's 5. So he appears for minimum number of subjects, that is 5. Maximum marks in every subject is 100, and minimum number of subjects is 5. I don't think we require any of this. Your choice of data structure itself is not right. And what we really need is a dictionary in which we could store the name, and the value for that particular name can be in list of dictionary as well. Because we want to have name and marks. So name can be key and value can be the marks in both the semesters. So if I have to create a dictionary, I'll have to think about a dictionary that I'm creating. So, pardon?
Sir, here line number 24.
Pardon?
डिक्शनरी यूज किया है
कहाँ है
24 और उसको
हाँ बहुत बेसिक अजम्पशन गलत है ना सारे सब्जेक्ट एक जैसे सब्जेक्ट के लिए अपीयर नहीं कर रहे ना
हाँ हाँ
okay so first we are accepting how many students are there that's student counter after the student counter has been accepted we'll have to have a dictionary over here
Can we use lists instead of dictionary?
tell me how will you use list instead of dictionary
So we make a list for name of the student, and then inside that list we make nested list. So name of the student, and inside that first name we'll make another list for marks.
How will you store inside the name? You will store marks.
There will be list of number of name of the students, and in that list we'll also have after every student the marks.
How
So,
is it possible in list to do that?
2D array से हो सकता है
2D array में करोगे तो array में कहाँ क्या रखोगे नेम कहाँ रखोगे array है तो all elements should be of same type
सर डिक्शनरी मध्येच नेम सेमिस्टर 1 चे मार्क्सला लिस्ट घ्यायची आणि सेमिस्टर 2 ला पण लिस्ट घ्यायची कारण ते ऑर्डर कलेक्शन असतं त्याच्यामध्ये नेम व्हॅल्यू नेम की आहे आणि व्हॅल्यू मध्ये सेमिस्टर 1 सेमिस्टर 2 चे मार्क्स असं घेऊ शकतो का सर
that's the only option which is available we have student details as a dictionary that has now been created and we will not be accepting number of subjects over here we need to have a loop now here for 2 semesters for subject counter you have said for semester 1 and 2 subject counter, but for n number of students का क्या किया है? Number of students का क्या किया?
Sir, line number 30. 30.
क्या किया 30 पे?
Sir, वो loop है n students के लिए.
Okay. I don't think that was appropriate. Here we go. Since we have this dictionary, I'll keep that thing code so that we can pick up some code snippets from there. So what do we need over here? This also currently we don't need. Enter the number of subjects. I'll just comment it out because we may need it later. So I'll just comment out the code that I'm not using right now. We could always accept the details of marks of the student in both the semesters at one time. So here we go. We have student counter is equal to int of student counter. That's already been converted. So I don't have to convert it again. I don't need this dictionary as well. Let's start over here. I definitely need to have a loop. That loop should iterate over these many number of subjects, these many number of students. इतने students से तो उतने students के details आपको accept करने हैं. Let's say for counter in range student counter. One, two. Student counter plus one. This is not student counter, it is total number of students. So I'll call this as student count. Here, total students. These are my total students. So I'm starting counting from 1, so that when I'm printing the details, it will be easy for me to print a message. I could say print, enter the details of student number, comma, counter. Good. Is there any humming noise?
Sir, was there a plane before?
Is there any humming noise?
No, sir, not now.
Okay. So student detail is a detail that we have created for counter in the range 1 to total number of students plus 1. We say enter the details of student number so and so. Now we want to know how many subjects the student is appearing for first semester and how many subjects that the student is appearing for the second semester. So we want to know the number of subjects that the student is appearing for. Here I go. Now we also need to accept the name of the student. We are first accepting the student name. And enter the number of subjects. So now we are interested in semester 1. We will ask the question, how many subjects does the student appear in semester 1? Semester 1 may how many subject has a student appear? How many subject has student appear in semester 1? We take the counter, we do the validation, and if it is less than the minimum number of, I created some variable minimum number of subjects. Minimum number of subjects है तो valid error देते हुए I should rather continue. Okay, तो ये अगर गलत है तो we will rather have to continue. But continue करोगे then there is a problem. This counter will get incremented if I say continue. And then again we may accept the details of the student. So we'll say exit. अगर गलत input देते we will stop only. Then we'll see as to how we can improve the code. If the input is wrong, we'll force him to enter the right input. In that case, I'll replace this while loop, for loop with while loop, and I'll increment the student counter if everything goes well. Or let us do it right away. While counter less than equal to total students. Yeah, exit नहीं करेंगे. If subject is not digit or less than minimum number of subject, दो condition अलग रखते हैं so that we understand what has gone wrong. Because the message that will give the user will be different. Otherwise, he'll keep on wondering क्या गलत दिया मैंने. The first is if it is not digit. So I'll say over here it's an error. Error. What's an error message? Error message would be how many subjects has the student appeared in semester 1? उसको मैसेज देंगे. Specify number of subjects in digits only. I'll not say exit over here, but rather I'll say continue. If I say continue, that means you will be required to accept the details of the student all over again. Here, I'll convey it to the user. I said, please enter the details of the student again. Of this student again. Now, continue. Continue take you back to the loop where you will not be incremented. You will have to accept the details all over again. That is, if the subject is not in digits. I'll again say if subject counter less than minimum number of subjects. Again, we're going to continue. There will be a bit of repetition over here, which is not a very good idea. But this repetition will be avoided later when we learn the next concept. So next concept we'll be learning these functions where I'll show you how this repetition can be avoided and how can you reduce the size of this program. But first, let's understand how the code is to be written. Then we'll think about reducing the size of the program. I say minimum number of subject is minimum number of subjects. Please enter this student again. वापस continue करेंगे. Now that he has accepted the number of subjects correctly, the name of the student has been accepted, the number of subjects that he has been accepted, and that's only for semester 1. So I'll have to repeat the same code for semester 2 as well. This is a very good example. This is turning out to be a good example for us to understand the next topic, because you will see a lot of repetition of code. And whenever there is repetition of code in the program at different places, the solution that has been recommended is used to concept of functions. Now I'll go ahead accepting details of the student for that many number of subjects. But now if I have to accept the details of the student for that subject, how am I going to create the dictionary? So this dictionary that I have, that I'm going to create, all the student details, is going to have some value. The value is the name of the student. The value is the name of the student. We'll assume for a moment, like roll number could be a unique name, unique key. Here we are going to assume the name of the student is unique for time being. So if this is the one, then I have a dictionary, a list. Suppose I have a list, and this is a list of lists. There are two lists. This will act as details in subject, marks in subject 1. This will act as marks in subject 2, semester 2. So for this student, we have a list of lists as, or you could also create a dictionary over here saying sem 1 a list, sem 2 ka another list. That also could have been done. So if you want to make it more readable, you could say the value is also a dictionary in which we have sem 1 as a key and the value is a dictionary. Comma sem 2 as a key. The advantage of this design would be you could ask user कौन सा detail चाहिए आपको, कौन से student का कौन सा detail चाहिए. You could get it anytime. Here you go. So sem 1 and sem 2 is what we have. So we have a dictionary. Sem 1 क्या ये list, sem 2 का ये list. So it becomes more readable as well. We'll understand which list represents what data. Now the question is about accepting the details. Now we have to accept the details. So I'll run a for loop here for, I'll take subject counter, or we have taken a subject counter नहीं कहेंगे इसको, number of subject कहेंगे. तो number of subjects है. So I have a counter, subject counter in range. Okay. Range क्या है? 1 to number of subjects plus 1. उसके सब्जेक्ट 5 है, तो ऐसे 1 to 6 ताकि 1 to 5 तक रेंज आ जाए. 1 2 3 4 5. Now here we'll again prompt the user to enter the marks in subject number 1. What is the counter? So I'll say print, enter the marks in subject number, comma, the subject counter. ये number of subject हमने string लिया है. We should have converted this into an integer. subject counter, we have sub counter, not a subject counter. So we have subject counter. Let's see what's the error here. Number of what task
Sir,
are complete.
semicolon.
Semicolon. Print enter the marks in subject number sub counter. Subject number 1 रहेगा. So whatever marks he enters, suppose I take a variable called as marks is equal to, I could have rather said input and passed on this message in input itself. Enter the marks in subject number str string of so and so. And I'm saying string because we cannot add a string to an integer. So I've converted the subject counter to a string and then we have concatenated it. So here is the marks. So we have got marks. We again need to do the similar kind of validation for marks as well. If mark dot is digit, here I again use the variable called as marks. Marks. Enter the marks of this student again. And again, if I say continue, it's going to go to this for loop. So again, we are with the same dilemma. We cannot use for loop because it may iterate. So again, I take this subject counter is equal to 1. And I say while subject counter less than equal to number of subjects. So if you give it wrong, we're going to ask him to, if the marks are greater than maximum marks to 100 से ज्यादा अगर है we are going to enter the marks of the student again. Now, assuming that these marks have been accepted correctly, And this is only for the first semester, semester 1 की बात चल रही है. Assuming that details have been accepted correctly. Okay, entered, both the things are valid. ये marks less than 100 भी है और digits भी है. We'll now append it to the sem 1 of student details. So how do you do that? You will say student details of name. So we know what that student is all about. So that will give me a dictionary. Within this dictionary, I want sem 1. That will give me a list. And that list dot append, I'll say int of marks. Understand the sequence. Student of name gives me this outer dictionary. Sem 1 will give the list. So once I get the list dot append int of marks. So that marks in the first semester has now been accepted. So this will happen, and then if everything goes well, then I'm going to increment the subject counter by 1. So let's actually run this code at least till here and see whether it is accepting details of the students correctly. Let's say 2 students are paying for only first semester. This is because we're accepting details only of the first semester. So let's see what if there are any bugs. Enter the name of the student. I say Rani. Actually, number of students. Enter the number of students. I say 2 students. Enter the details of student number 1. What's the name of the student? I say Raja. How many students does the student appear in the first semester? I say appears for 6 semesters. We will have to put a colon over there. Enter the marks in subject number 1. I say 56. Subject number 2. We'll have to give space over there. Subject number 2. I say -5. Get the error. Specify the marks of the subject digits only. Please enter the marks of the student again. Enter the marks in subject number 2. कह रहा है. Okay. Subject number 1 we have already accepted. It looks like now it's accepting for subject number 2. Subject number 2, then 45 and 37, and then 78, and then 88, and then 55. Marks have been accepted. Then says enter the details of student number 1. Okay. Student number 1 has already been accepted. We forgot to increment the variable. So suppose this is now Pooja. And the details of Pooja would be something like this. Here we have some details. Let's see whether it has been accepted correctly. Okay, let's see. How many subjects she appears? She appears only for 3 subjects. We say no. Minimum 5 subjects she has to appear. And name is suppose Pooja. She appears for 5 subjects. Marks in first subject 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Okay, so it's at least accepting the things right. Let's make those changes. The change that we have forgot is to increment the variable. What is happening? Why is it not getting adjusted? So we have this counter. Okay, that's the student counter that also we have to increment, and that's something that we forgot. So at the bottom, we'll have to increment that counter. That's actually the student counter that we could increment. So that will take care of one problem. Second thing is like we need to put such colons enter results of student number 1. समझो हमने कहा student number 1. Then we're asking to enter the name of the student. And जहाँ marks accept करे, enter the marks in subject number so and so. ये कहा हमने. I'll say we have plus. Hold on. We'll have some space to accept. I think rest is correct.
Sir, line number 25, I think you need one more semicolon.
Let's check. Line number 25, I don't see any error.
No, sir, at the end. Line number 25 only at the end.
वो प्रिंट मैसेज का बोल रहे हैं.
No, yes, there was the space that is required. So this is what we have accepted. Now we'll have to repeat it for subject number semester number 2 as well. So student details has already been accepted. Now from here I'll have to repeat the entire thing. This is too lengthy code. This will be reduced significantly in the next topic. Now here we'll ask, how many subject has a student appear in semester 2? And rest of things will all remain the same. What improvement we could bring about is, if we could ask the user, कौन से student के details चाहिए, whichever student details you want, you could print that. And that too, the sum, marks, everything. Let's do that. I think this code is right now. I don't need rest, so I just delete it. A total number of students, we don't really have to bother. That was only till the time we are accepting the values in the loop. While calculating average also, that will not be a problem. I'll tell you why. Here we appended in sem1 and subject counter is equal to subject counter plus 1. And then again subject counter plus 1. The only thing that we'll do is now we'll append it for subject number 2. semester number 2. That's one change that we'll do. Now we'll write a loop. Here we'll do something interesting. I'll say while true. It's an infinite loop. And I'll ask the user, we say enter the name of the student. We could do it for all the students. That loop you could write. I'm just making it a bit more interesting. Enter the name of the student. The moment you give a name, we'll check whether it's there in the dictionary. So I'll say if name in student details, that name is there, then I'll print his details in both the semesters. Print semester 1 का स्कोर चाहिए. I'll say student details of name, comma, someone. Semester 2 का स्कोर चाहिए. Then I'll ask the user, do you want to have details of any more student or yeah, else will डालेंगे. Else will say print not found अगर वो नहीं है. And then we'll ask the user.
सर वो सेम 1 2 बार हो गया.
Input. Do you want to fetch details of any more student? Yes, no. Here I'll check. Click. Which end? Yes. Which dot upper in yes, comma y. If we डाला user ने, if not in, not in this. Click. Let's run this code and actually display details of two students. You may find it too lengthy, but that's how it is. Someone M2 submit कर रहे हैं. Let's see whether it works right. Half of the code is the same. Copy paste था. Enter the name of student. I say the name of student is Raja. Enter the number of students. Enter the number of students which I have 2. Enter the details of the student number 1. Name क्या है मैंने कहा Raja. How many subjects the student appears in semester 1? I say he appears for 5 subjects. Enter the marks in subject number 1. 45, 45, 45, 45 and 45. Suppose. Enter how many subjects should happen in 2 semesters? I say 7. I say 71, 78, 78, 78, 79, 79, and 77. Enter this of student number 2. What's the name? I say name of the student is Rani. How many subjects appears in the first semester? 6 subjects. 45, 46, 47, 48, 48, 44, and 49. How many subjects appears in the second semester? She appears only for 5 subjects in the second semester. And that's 66, 67, 67, 68, 69, and 90. Enter the name of the student. Okay, now we need to check whether did we increment the counter or not. I enter the name of the student. Acha, name of the student to search. Do you want to fetch details? Yes. Enter the name of the student. मैंने कहा भाई राजा का डिटेल चाहिए मुझे. तो ये कहता है राजा का सेमेस्टर 2 का डिटेल्स मिला है, सेमेस्टर 1 का डिटेल नहीं मिला है. 2 का डिटेल सही है क्या? हाँ. सेमेस्टर 1 का डिटेल नहीं मिला है. ओके, सो विल अंडरस्टैंड वेयर द बग इज. डू यू वांट टू फेच एनी मोर डिटेल्स? यस. किसका चाहिए? मैंने कहा भाई रानी का चाहिए. रानी का भी सेम 2 का डिटेल्स है, सेम 1 का नहीं है. दैट मीन्स एंड डू वांट टू कंटिन्यू? नो. So let's see what is the mistake that we have done for SEM 1. अच्छा, दोनों जगह SEM 1 ही लिखा है. Oh, we created this again. ये दोबारा नहीं create करना. Dictionary was created again, so previous data was lost. That was the only mistake. The rest is all right. I created dictionary again, so the first semester my marks were all lost. So let's run this program from the command prompt. Enter the number of students. I say 2. Details of student number 1. I say Raja. Number of subject in the first semester. I say 5. That is 56, 57, 58, 15, 5, and 59. SEM 2 में कितने सब्जेक्ट अप्लाई कर रहा है? 6. And that's 45, 46, 47, 48, and 49, and 44. Enter details of student number 2. उसका नाम क्या है? I say this is suppose Leela. Semester 1 she appears for 7 subjects. 77, 88, 88, 66, 99, and 44, and 33. SEM 2 में she appears for 8 subjects. 45, 46, 77, 88, 99, 98, this and this. Now here I should change the message. Enter the details of the student to fix the information or something like that. So I want to search for Karan, Karan. That the student not found. You want to search more? Yes. मैंने कभी राजा का दिखा, तो ये राजा के दिमाग से. Semester 1 and semester 2 के दिमाग से. You want to fetch? Yes. मैंने कभी लीला के बताओ marks. ये लीला के marks है. For varying number of subjects. और मैंने कहा no, I come out and I stop. So although the code is repetitive, but then that's the logic. Here I should print some message. So message I'll get the details of the student, enter the name of the student. कह दिया। अब यहाँ इसका टोटल भी अगर चाहिए होता है आपको लिस्ट में, तो सपोज इफ आई हैव अ लिस्ट एंड मुझे एवरेज और ये चाहिए था, so how could you find the average? It's actually very simple, you don't have to do anything. समझो आपकी लिस्ट है और लिस्ट में मार्क्स है
एवरेज फंक्शन यूज कर लेते हैं
50, 60, 70, 70, 90। आप कह रहे एवरेज फंक्शन इसको, एवरेज ऑफ लिस्ट।
हाँ इंपोर्ट मैथ करेंगे ना
ओके, import math, I say math dot avg of the list, okay, or if I say dir math, we dir math करने पर do you have anything as average only? Can you see anything? है कुछ average?
नहीं
So that was a good guess. Math में ऐसा कोई average नहीं है. Instead, what you could do is there's a global function called as sum. Sum of list करोगे तो ये total आ गया. अब average चाहिए था तो sum of list divided by length of the list. ये आपका 67.5 उसका average है. Check if I'm right or wrong. ये आपकी list है. These are the marks. And check इन 4 marks का 67.57, 67.5 average है क्या, check करो. है या नहीं? अरे कुछ तो बोलो.
यस
4 वैल्यूज का एवरेज है या नहीं?
Yes, sir.
So that solves the problem. तो यहाँ परसेंटाइल मार्क्स अगर प्रिंट करने थे फॉर सेमेस्टर 1, so these are the marks and you could just say print तो ऐसा कर सकते सेमेस्टर 1 मार्क्स एंड परसेंटाइल. लिखेंगे यहाँ मार्क्स के लिए let's say sum of this looks very long to write. मैं कह सकता हूँ मार्क्स इज इक्वल टू ये यहाँ मार्क्स प्रिंट करेंगे. That's it. Sum of marks divided by length of marks. Same thing we do for semester 2. यहाँ सिर्फ सेम 1 है तो यहाँ सिर्फ सेम 2 करेंगे. यहाँ भी सेम 2 कहेंगे. So for the first time we have reached almost 100 lines program, and next topic we'll learn how we can reduce the size of this code substantially. ये बहुत कम कर देंगे. Maybe we'll reduce it by 50% or probably more than 50%. At least 50% का size reduce करेंगे. But this is how it will work. So
Sir, line 84.
हाँ क्या प्रॉब्लम है?
Sem 2 होगा ना?
नहीं, 84 पे सेम 1 है, 88 पे सेम 2 है.
अच्छा okay.
So have a look
Sir,
at this
you
code.
wrote it together, no? One after other.
One after another.
Okay.
First, we'll get these details of SEM 1, and then we'll get details of SEM 2.
Yes, sir.
It's time for us to start thinking design क्या रहेगा मेरे दिमाग का. So here we have created a dictionary. कहाँ create किया था हमने dictionary यहाँ. एक dictionary of dictionary. Okay, wherein the nested dictionary has string and list as its value. So think about design. क्या लिखोगे? क्या data structures use करोगे? It's time for us to start using right data structures. ताकि हम लोग यहाँ अगर कोई कहता है सारे डिटेल्स सारे स्टूडेंट्स के डिटेल्स प्रिंट करो, that's also possible. I'll not use infinite loop, rather I'll go through all the elements in the dictionary. Now the only precondition over here was the names are unique. Actually, in the classroom, you will accept not just by name, that will be confusing. You'll accept it by roll number. Roll number will be unique in a class. So let me share this particular file. If anybody has a query, please ask. Anybody has query, any suggestion, please ask. I share the file. Please download that particular file. Have a look at it. Make a serious logical सोचते रहो, लिखते जाओ यार, कुछ करना नहीं है. बात करो आप क्या कर रहे हो बताओ और उस हिसाब से लिखते जाओ कोड. बट ये कोड लिखोगे, ऐसे कोई कोड लिखोगे, then you'll feel very happy about your own self. अरे हाँ आपको लॉजिक तो मालूम है. I'll teach you techniques how we can reduce this code. That I'll teach you. But don't be scared with what you have written. It's a repetitive code. यहाँ से यहाँ तक जो किया है, this entire thing is repetition. What we have done, this same thing we have repeated over. It's almost a repetitive code है, कुछ नहीं है. यहाँ जो कर रहे हैं हम लोग वही यहाँ भी किया हुआ है. It's all repetition, and such repetitions can be avoided very easily. Okay, but we haven't yet discussed those concepts. That's the only issue. But once we discuss those concepts, I'll teach you how we can reduce the size of the code. So I want you to go through the code and take the next question as an assignment to solve.
सर
हाँ.
वो इनपुट फंक्शन में प्रिंट की तरह हम लोग डिस्प्ले नहीं कर सकते ना वेरिएबल यूज करके.
Input function takes only a single string as a parameter. तो आपको string construct करनी होगी. Somewhere यहाँ मैंने input एक string create किया. How? Fancy here, enter the marks in subject number plus this. I have constructed one string, and plus is a concatenation. I'm just concatenating those three things, creating a string and passing it, nothing else. उसमें कुछ खास नहीं है. खास यही था डेटा स्ट्रक्चर कौन सा यूज करना, that was important. इस पूरे कोड में what is important is this, selecting the data structure. ये line number 35 was the most important thing. कि आपके प्रोग्राम का डिजाइन क्या है यहाँ डिसाइड हो रहा है, लाइन नंबर 36 पे हो रहा है डिसाइड. That was most important. How are you organizing the data in the memory? That was a only place where you have to make a conscious choice. Some of you said I will use list of list. यहाँ मल्टीपल लिस्ट है. सेमेस्टर 1 का लिस्ट अलग है, सेमेस्टर 2 का लिस्ट अलग है. फिर तो ऐसे ही नाम के भी लिस्ट यूज करेंगे. That would make it very difficult to handle. So here we have used a dictionary where name is the key and value is a dictionary in which SEM1 and SEM2 are two keys. SEM1 की लिस्ट अलग है और SEM2 की लिस्ट अलग है. We don't have to keep a track of number of subjects because list का length itself will tell you how many subjects are there. There may be some basic bugs that are there. You may realize it while you test this code, but I would expect you to solve those things. The basic idea is what I put across. Okay. Any questions, anybody? I hope all of you are downloaded with it.
Yes, sir.
ये समझ में आ चुका रहेगा. खुद होके सॉल्व करने की कोशिश भी करो. You may read it once, but then try and write it on your own. So if you can even type so many lines of code, that will also give you confidence because that's very important. You start typing the code. I have seen Prithviraj for last so many times he's saying true and false in small case. But once you start typing the code, and once you come up with those bugs, then you'll never commit those mistakes again. So as a developer, it's very important that you type your code, you see the errors, And when you get lots of error, that's where your learning starts. Because to rectify those errors, you'll go through the basics. So errors will force you to go back to your books, check what is to be done, and that will reinforce whatever we have learned. तो अगर आपको learning reinforce करना है या नया नया सिर्फ सीखते जाना है, पीछे का कुछ याद नहीं है, that will never help. So if you reinforce what you have learned, solving, writing assignment not in mind, on screen, in the ID, testing, errors are friends for developers. So don't worry. You will always come across errors. Even I come across errors. There will be bugs. There will be syntax errors. There will be logical errors. Let it be there. But then don't give up writing that particular program. Take all the efforts you can to complete that particular code, and you will come out as a very confident developer if you complete that task. So I give you 5 minutes to read that code. Take 5 minutes and read that code. All of you have the file, please read the code. And after 5 minutes, I give you a small assignment. Read that code. If there is any query, you can always ask. Now the next assignment will require you to go through a module. So I'll introduce you to that module first. There is a module called as calendar, which is available in Python. Quite an interesting one. If you go to python.doc, Python.org, in Python doc, we have a module called as calendar. Here. What does this calendar do? Let's read about it. This model allows you to output calendar like Unix calendar program, calc program, that provides additional useful function related to calendars. By default, these calendars have Monday as the first day of the week and Sunday as the last day. But then you may be wondering, Monday is always the first day of the week, isn't it? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
That's not the case. Many calendars, even the calendar that we use, Monday is not the first day. It could probably be the Sunday being the first day. So we are not even aware as to how many days are there in the week. How many days are there in the week?
7.
That's again not correct. May not be correct. Because you are giving information based on a Gregorian calendar that we have adopted as a country. That need not be the case at all the parts of the program across all calendars. There are the Arab world follows the Hijra calendar. The Thai follows the Buddhist calendars. India, we follow the Shaka and the Gregorian calendars. Two calendars we follow, two different calendars. You must have seen in a lot of puja time, they say Shake so and so. That's the Shaka calendar that we follow. So there are two different calendars that we in India follow. Some places in the world, number of days in a week are 8. Some places it is 7. So calendars may be different. But we'll stick to the calendar that we know. So the calendar that we know is this general calendar. It will tell you which is the first day of the week, and it will help you to perform various calendrical calculations. And what we are using is the Gregorian calendar is what we are using. Okay. And there are a number of functions which are available in it. As an assignment, I want you to go through these functions. Just have a look at this function. We may not need all the features which are there inside this function. Definitely not. But just have a glance over what all services it provides. And once it's a very small and very simple and very interesting module which is there. I'll just show you how interesting, how fantastic it is. Suppose I want to know the program to print display the calendar of a given month, given month of the year. So I have 2017, month is 11. Right now it is supposed 2023. I could just say 2023, month is currently 7. I could just say month 7. And I say calendar of month, year and month I pass. If I pass year and month, and if I run this particular code, see what has been printed. We have got over here calendar for July 2023, and today is 11th, and 11th happens to be Tuesday. Entire calendar has got printed. Okay, but that's not the assignment. Assignment based on it. Okay, that's one calendar. I could also display the calendar for the entire year. How could I do that? So I have calendar month as one of the method over here. Here we saw calendar dot month. I have calendar month, weekdays, first day of the week. Let's check. MONTH. Month range, calendar month is what we saw, in which we gave the year and the month. But likewise, do you have something called as year? Okay. So let's have a look at this. We have something called as HTML calendar. We have format. I don't want to use formatting right now. But first, set first day of the week. Set first day of the week, Sunday hai, by default. You could change it according to your country, where you belong to. So we have calendar of weekdays, calendar of year, month range hai. Print month's calendar written by month. So it is written by month. Returns month's calendar in multi-line string. Okay. Here it says prints the calendar return entire calendar by calendar. If I just say calendar, it's going to give me the entire year's calendar. Okay. So let's see. Does it give the calendar for the entire year? You are talking about various calendars that we can have. Here you go. Calendar returns 3-column calendar for the entire year. Okay. Calendar for the entire year. So here I am. Here we have said calendar month. I want it for the entire year. I could just say calendar. Calendar. And I'll pass the year. Year could be, say, 1975. So that year's calendar is what we really want to print. Here we go. So 1975 ka pure saal ka, look at this, 1975, and the entire year's calendar has been printed. Okay. Ask other developers who have worked in C++, Java, how much time it takes to handle one calendar. And here the jobs are very, very simple. So the assignment for you is, you have to explore this module called as calendar. Don't go ahead with date and time, because I am going to give you detailed understanding of date and time later. But this module called as calendar is what you'll have to explore. And I'll call this as my care or calendar demo is what I call. Okay, here we got the month calendar, here we got the calendar for the year. Assignment kya hai? Assignment is you have to accept date of birth. Okay. And then print, display what was the day on that date. That means, suppose you are born on 7th of July 2002. और मंडे था या ट्यूसडे था या वेडनेसडे था, ये आपको प्रिंट करना. And you can go through that entire module called as calendar, explore it. So your first assignment, and it's actually very simple. आपको लगेगा मुश्किल है, it's actually very simple question that I give. So you have to accept the date of birth of a student and print the day when he was born. Okay, Monday tha, Tuesday tha, Friday tha, what it is. And you could also print the calendar. Yeah, us mahine ka calendar when he was born. So let's do it this way. Accept the birth date of the student and print the calendar for that month and the day when he was born. कौन से दिन वो पैदा हुआ था, वो Thursday था या Friday था, that is what you have to print. So that will be an exercise for you to explore this module called as calendar. That's one assignment. This is very simple in fact. आपको अभी लगता रहेगा मुश्किल है, but now that we see this module, this is hardly any assignment. So I will not judge you based on this assignment. एक दूसरा assignment है जो आपके लिए है, जहाँ आपको थोड़ा सा apply करना होगा खुद पे.
Print the day and
You have to print the, suppose you are born in month of January, okay, or February. So if it was February 2002 or 2004, you will print the calendar for that month, February 2004 calendar, and the day when you are born. Suppose you are born on 11th of February. So उस 11th of February को दिन कौन सा था? Monday था, Tuesday था. So you're going to print that thing at the one you're born on this day. Okay, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That's what you're going to print. So that's first assignment. Let's now talk about the second assignment, wherein there will be a bit of typing that you have to do, which code लिखना होगा. Okay. And I don't want you to Google and search for it. It's a simple exercise just to test your looping construct ability. There again, you'll have to explore one more module. The module that I want you to explore, I'll just show you that module first. Or let it be. Without exploring module, पहले solve करते हैं, फिर I'll tell you about variations. So the problem statement is this. I'll run the program initially. वो आपको solve करना है. So you'll understand what I really want. Let me just open up the program. And अगर आप Google search करते बैठोगे, you are doing a harm to yourself. I'm going to run the program. इसमें से कोई भी वर्जन आप सॉल्व कर पाए, I'll be happy. There is one program, Python. This one, you have been asked to guess the number. Suppose you said number is 56. He says no, the number is smaller than 56. फिर आपने कहा ये 25 है. No, the number is smaller than 25. तो आपने कहा ये 10 है. Okay, I entered some wrong thing. Guess the number. मैंने कहा भाई 50 है. 4 minutes greater than 50. मैंने कहा भाई ये 80 है. Number is smaller than 80. Suppose if I say then ये 77 है. Number is smaller than 77. Then I say ये 66 है. Okay, the number is greater than 66. So I have only one attempt. It was 71. You are a user. So you're going to give 5 attempts to user to guess a number between 1 to 100. And if the user guesses the number, you're going to say you are a winner or whatever it is. So let's do it once again. I 50 here. Smaller than 50 here, I give 25. Smaller than 25 here, I give 12. Smaller than 12 here, I say 6. Greater than 6 here, I say 9. I got it right. I am the winner. So in 5 attempts, I have guessed it right. So this time, first time I was a loser, next time I am a winner. So the machine is going to guess the number, generate a number randomly. Random. So module called as random. And you're going to test. You're going to give user 5 attempts to guess the number that the machine has randomly generated. So random.random जो random function है वो आपको देखना है, तो module called as random देखना होगा आपको. And the user will have 5 attempts to guess the number right. Once you get this, तो इसको थोड़ा सा और variation में चाहिए. And the variation is this. Guess the integer, मैंने कहा 55. Little higher than that, मैंने कहा 77. little lower than that, मैंने कहा 66, little lower than that, मैंने कहा भाई 60, little higher than that, मैंने कहा 64, little lower than that, मैंने कहा 62. Game over. It took me 16 seconds. Okay, congratulations, I've guessed it right. तो यहाँ भले passes कम ज्यादा हो, कितने attempt में किया मैंने 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now here, the problem is not about number of attempts. The problem is about the time. It took you 16 seconds. If 25 seconds के ऊपर चला जाए ना, then it's gonna stop. Let's do it. I guess very slowly. I guess the number 67. Lower than that, I say 50. Lower than that, I'm spending time. Huh? So it may so happen my time may get over. So I say 20. Is lower than that. So फिर मैंने कहा 10. Little lower than that, I'm spending time. Huh? I have made 4 attempts. And little lower than that, मैंने कहा भाई 5. Sorry, lost. You took 26 seconds. तो अभी 25 seconds के ऊपर गया, तो your time is over. So first was the number of attempts. Second is about the time. Now, if you really want to work with this time, I expect you to check out this particular module called as time. We had said time.sleep. So this is a module for this time that you have to explore. And this will give you an idea as to how to check for the time. Okay. Try and figure out on your own. Or I'll give you a hint, a problem state, a solution for you to explore, so that you don't waste too much of time. Or you can explore it. To explore that module called as date time and write that while loop. So if you are too stressed with time, especially those amongst you are working, so you can at least write the first part, number of attempts. 5 attempts देने आपको user को for him to guess the number right. If he guesses the number right in the first 5 attempts, you're going to say him the winner. And if he fails to guess the number in the first 5 attempts, you're going to say you are a loser. So create a game. It's a small game. Later, I'll show you how to create a graphical interface for the similar kind of game. So currently, it's just a simple game that you're going to create. You're going to give 5 attempts to the user to guess the right number. If the user guesses the number in the 5 attempts, number between 1 to 100, he's a winner. If he doesn't guess within 5 attempts, he's a loser. Second improvement over that code is you're going to give him 25 seconds to guess the time. If he guesses the number within 25 seconds, he's the winner. He may have as many number of attempts you want, but time had 25 seconds. So if 25 seconds lapse, he is the loser if he doesn't get it right. I hope all of you understood the question. 3 assignments दिए, 2 compulsory solve करना. पहला था the calendar, and second is this number guess game. Have you all understood? Give me feedback. और करके आना है.
Yes.
और जो आज हमने सॉल्व किया असाइनमेंट क्लासरूम में, we spent entire session only on one assignment. Not that it was for me to test, it was for you to understand how to develop a code. यानी आप कैसे सोचते हैं, क्या लिखते जाना है. So that was the purpose of solving examples. And if I keep on solving examples, it's only me who will improve. अगर आप चाहते हैं आप भी improve करें, तो you have to start solving the example. Right, गलत, सही है, क्या है, doesn't matter. Right. I appreciate Ashish because he puts in a lot of efforts. He solves the assignment. And believe me, sometimes I appreciate him, sometimes his code doesn't come up to be right, but he's going to be a fantastic developer because he is writing the codes. And each one of you has that ability, has that opportunity to be a confident and developer, provided you start making that attempt. And fear of failure is something that you should get off your mind the very first day. Nobody has written the perfect code ever. Neither do I write the code after 25 years also. I will not tell you I write the perfect code the very first time. There are bugs. And it's like with that habit of writing code, we develop that ability to not to give up. सही जब तक नहीं आएगा तब तक करेंगे, सही तरीके से करेंगे, no shortcuts. We'll spend time typing that particular code. And if you have that attitude, that habit, you will definitely be a successful developer. But you have to start writing the programs. It's high time now. Start writing the programs. So 2 assignments. I want all of you to solve them. And we did the percentile हमने find किया ना? Last example में.
सर मी आधी टाकलं होतं मेसेज.
Okay. So solve those assignments and be ready for tomorrow's session. With that note, I'll stop here today. And don't disappoint me when you're not writing the code. 1% comes with the code, that's very bad. आज राहुल ने भी लिखा था code. That's good. भले वो गलत जाए, but लिखना जरूरी है so that you understand. अरे, did I even understand the problem? Did I even think about these aspects? So लिखो code and I will teach you how to improve the same code. ये बकवास design था what we wrote today. But we yet do not know the specialized construct which will improve the quality of code. हमें नहीं मालूम. As we learn new techniques, the quality of your program is going to improve. But लिखोगे तो improve करोगे ना. लिखोगे नहीं तो don't be under impression. एक दिन after Python course gets over, I'm going to write the best code on the last day. That's never going to happen. You have to start writing the worst code today so that over a period you write the best code. So with that note, we'll stop over here today. See you tomorrow with the assignments. Take care. Love you all. Bye-bye.